How is everybody? It is another episode of the Linux 2 podcast, and we are having a crazy day here because I just couldn't stop messing with stuff before the stream. I'm Jesse, and it's Alex over here with me, the real host of the
That's
show.
right.
The real host of the show.
Welcome to episode 14 of the TLT podcast. Today we got a great show planned for you guys. It's kind of not really super structured as we normally are, but it's going to be fun. Ben and Josh are in the chat. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much. It looks like Ben is jamming up some Fog Hat on his slow ride.
Nice.
Take it easy.
So, Alex, there's some static in your sound, and I think I can hear it too.
Really?
For once, it's not my audio getting crap.
How about now? Is it better?
Still a little staticky, my dude. Zany, what's up?
Don't know why this is.
We've got the whole crew pouring in because it's that time. What else will we be doing on a Saturday night, right?
Pretty much. How are we sounding now?
You're still a little staticky, my man.
What the heck?
Josh, you want to talk about the room echo? Wow. Okay. Why not? With all this acoustic foam here, I don't know how we're getting room echo.
Well, I'm gonna have to hang on. I'll be right back.
But so Josh, we got rid of the slime and modernized it a little bit. It's a work in progress, and every week we're trying to do something a little bit better. We got a better thumbnail. I bet you I can make that go away while Alex is gone.
Hello, can everybody hear me now? How do I sound?
I heard just a tiny bit of static.
Is it better now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear it now?
Looks like my camera froze, but I can't be sure.
Hello. What did I miss? I don't expect any Linux podcast to have perfect audio. Ain't that true? LOL, I keep getting old school Nickelodeon vibes.
Oh, the slime, yeah.
Because now I'm low. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
How about now?
I can't tell because just like it did before the show, my whole production monitor has frozen. So I can't interact with OBS. Now? You're doing better. I can't interact with OBS in any meaningful way right now, and I don't know how I'm going to stop the stream.
Do what?
This is crazy. I might actually have to restart the stream. My camera's frozen. My monitor is frozen.
How's my sound now, guys?
Your sound is great. Your sound is fantastic.
They're saying in the chat that I'm low. Read the chat.
I can't read the chat. My monitor's frozen.
Oh.
I'm flying blind here, bud. I got no button.
Josh says he has the best audio. Cams are good, just Alex's audio is still very low. So this podcast is literally running on hopes and dreams. He says now it's good.
Okay, fantastic. So I won't even be able to stop the stream. Alex, will you be able to go into studio at the end and do it?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go with it. Full send. Mm-hmm. What's that famous quote? Fuck it, we'll do it live.
That's right. We're spinning it, man. We're spinning it like crazy.
So your lights are flickering. Like, we've got every sort of different interference we could be having right now.
Whose lights are flickering? Mine?
Yours were, yeah. You either got a demon or a romantic sunset. I'm not sure which.
I got something.
So I can't see the chat. I can't see anything except a frozen snapshot of the OBS that was.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That is funny.
So I am going to turn over the podcast to its rightful owner.
Well, then I guess we should talk about, YouTube ad blocker. Let's go with that one right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So recently I've come across an article over at The Verge. What's up, Johnny No Shoes? Welcome back to the chat. Anyhow, over to Verge, and apparently the ad block detection scripts are spyware. There is no other way to describe them, and as such, it is not acceptable to deploy them without consent. So YouTube has been essentially breaking the law. And what's funny is I didn't even really realize it until I went to use the Thorium browser. Mm-hmm. And it told me that I actually was using spyware.
So Thorium said you were using spyware?
Yeah, it gave me when I went to YouTube, right, and went to watch a video on it, it came back at me, says ad blockers are not allowed, and that you're not, to turn it off or whatever. And so all I did was click okay, like I turned it off and it let me in to watch the video. So it didn't prevent me from watching the video, but there's something, I don't know if it's in the header, I don't know where it's at, but they're spywaring to find out what you're running.
And I have to say that I agree with that assessment. Because if YouTube is sitting there saying you can't have an ad blocker, what exactly are they using? What did we agree to in the fine print that they're able to, or
maybe not even agree to, because ad blockers has been around for a while,
right?
And this just started happening. So unless they updated their fine print without a reconsent, which I haven't signed anything or checked any boxes off.
No, but so many EULAs and stuff have things in there like we can change this without notice.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. You're very much
so. That's why I said, buried in the fine print, because if we're using anything in the Google ecosystem, we've signed our digital soul away.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure someone we did.
When a product is free, you are the product.
Yeah, absolutely. And and as it makes sense too that in the platform that they are, as large as they are, and the volume to which business they do with different vendors and ad revenue sources and stuff like that. They're definitely catering to them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And here's a part that pisses me off about it when you stop and think about it. We as content creators don't want ad blockers as well, because we get pennies on the freaking dollars for the ad revenue that we get, right? So I understand why we don't want it, but even YouTube is protecting their ad revenue like crazy on this, but really, they're not sharing it out. So in a way, I'm like, you know what? I ain't getting it anyhow, so fuck you. I'm good for ad blockers, If I don't get anything, then hey, you don't get anything if I don't get anything. You make it a little bit more fair on my terms, and I'll push the ad blocker, the non-ad blocker, turf.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where I feel about it. I mean, these people are making millions and millions of dollars on these ads. And they're paying all us content creators pennies.
Yeah. I mean, so wait.
Not even pennies, actually, like quarter of a cent, half of a cent.
Right. I was going to say, like, put it out there for the viewers, like we're not buying private jets on our ad revenue, guys. We're not doing it. Hell, we're not even buying instant ramen on our ad revenue.
I'm saying. I mean, what are you talking about, jets? Holy shit! No, I mean, Zany says I'm one of the few that thinks that ad blockers are wrong. just the same as overusing ads aggressively is. My
Yep.
mama taught me two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Zany, on that one.
Hmm.
I understand why they do it, and I understand there are many ways to justify it. At Springles, the correct answer is to not use sources that use them. Then, I
And
just, like I said,
but here we are
I
all
feel bad.
watching the podcast on YouTube. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm supposed to support it, and I'm trying to support it. I really am. But then again, they're also not giving me a lot of incentive to want to support it.
right.
And so talking about it,
Hmm.
uh, is okay. But to me, it does. You don't need to support them being illegal either.
Well, that's true.
I
What do
mean, they're
you
trying.
what are the chatters saying about it?
Josh says my web browser stops pop-ups, and I have DNS blacklist for everything else. Agree, AdBlock is not the solution we should be using.
We should be using
Okay.
what?
He said he agrees that AdBlock is not the solution. He says we should be using DNS blacklist and pop-ups from popping up.
I mean,
Um,
that is one way to do it. Yeah,
yeah. Well, but
flexing our nerd muscles here to do it the
well,
guaranteed way.
yeah, that stops the basic stuff. That doesn't stop, that doesn't stop in real ads or anything like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but either way, I get what they're saying. Like I said, I am trying to support it, but I'm not exactly loyal either because I feel that YouTube has shown us YouTubers a huge disloyalty. I mean, yes, we are the product, but you know what, man? It's like that business that 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 has employees that treats their employees like a hot mess.
Oh, like
They're
DoorDash.
sure. I mean, because their employees are the backbone of the company. If you didn't have the employees, then you wouldn't have the demand because
Yep.
your products wouldn't be getting out there and
Right.
being made. So you got to kind of reappreciate that. And I think that pretty much so. YouTube kind of is like the pimp, you know,
Hmm.
and we're the other people. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Nice job keeping our
yeah,
keeping
trying to keep
our
it politically correct. Yeah, and we're, and
tiny
we're the
little
other people.
monetization. YouTube, please don't
Yeah, for
smack
the
us.
little half a cent that we get, you know what I'm saying, that we will wind up getting. Yeah, I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
Um, so like I said, I don't know how to put it any other way, man. I really don't. And I don't I don't want to sound, petty about it, but
Right.
really, I mean, you're asking me to protect something that I create so much for you, and yet you don't want to give me back hardly any of it. So really, who am I really helping here? You know what I
YouTube,
mean?
of course.
Yeah.
Big
So
Daddy YouTube.
Zany says if we want a free web ads are the way to do it. There just needs to be a regulated standard for everyone. Yeah, well, that's you're asking the internet to get regulated? No, that's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, net neutrality is rumored to be coming back, so we'll see.
Oh, net neutrality, yes.
But
Yeah, that'll be
that's a whole different episode. I think we could dedicate an entire episode just to net neutrality.
yeah, we could. That I mean that's a kind of slippery slope because it's almost like it protects good as much as it protects bad.
It does.
And that's a questionable, thing because then, well, we can't even talk about ethics today because everything seems so skewed anymore. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
so I mean, like I said, that's definitely for another episode
Oh
on that
yeah.
one, the net neutrality. Yeah, but as far as the ad blockers are concerned, yeah, no, I'm okay with people using them, but I'm not going to be promoting them.
Right.
I'm not going to be doing that because that's just kind of not the good thing, to do.
Yeah.
Now, the other topic, which was one that you wanted to talk about,
Okay.
you, do you remember?
I don't have anything here besides my hand notes. I wanted to talk about Fedora 39 dropping.
Right.
but I don't have the release notes up because my things are frozen. Give me 1 second. Hopefully I won't kill the podcast. I'm going to just try to reset my session, which should not
Mhm.
disturb the stream. Let me see if I can
Okay.
do that without killing the stream.
Sweet. See if we can do some damage control on the fly.
Yep. But so Fedora 39.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited about it because we know it's going to wind up giving us a new version of Nobar to talk about, once some of the bugs get worked out.
Right.
We're a little bit closer to KDE and GNOME dropping explicit X11 support, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, it's got GNOME 45 in it, and it's also got the Linux 6.5 kernel, which is called
6.5. I thought they were on 6.6.
Well, that's the new kernel that's out, which is the Mark of the Beast one. Or
Oh boy,
that's
conspiracy
what
theorist and go.
No, that's what Linus Torvalds nicknamed it because he's a huge Iron Maiden fan.
But you know the internet's gonna run with it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but so it's got 6.5 or 6.6 kernel in it, and they have new dynamic workspace indicator, keyboard backlight toggle in this quick settings menu, privacy enhancing webcam, activity indicator, so it lets you know when your webcam is on or off. Also, it ships with what's it called? Loop, which is the Gnome's new image viewer. It used to be Eye of Gnome, but it's not that anymore. It's called Loop, so it ships with that. It is now possible to remove user data when using Flatpak, so that you're actually they're not tracking or doing any of that, that kind of funky stuff.
So we're like containerception.
Yes, exactly. And they also offer a little bit more performance speed throughout the whole GNOME desktop stack, because they enabled hardware accelerated video decoding and reduced cursor stutter and latency. So, I mean, they've done a lot, and they did a colored. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing too. The bash prompt is now colored. I think it's blue.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, they've added some eye candy to it, and they made it a much better user experience, so to speak.
It's not very often that I have complaints about how it feels to use Fedora.
Why are they saying they don't see our face?
They don't see our face, huh?
Zanny says, I miss Alex's beautiful face.
Oh, no. All right, hold on. Are we finally getting the reset that I tried to do?
It says, my face is gone, but yours is there.
Interesting. And then...
KDE is also Wayland only. Oh, that's right. And their KDE is also Wayland only.
Yep. Alex, I do apologize here. We've got a suspicion here that my production machine is on the outs. We were talking about it before the show that it might be time to replace it or put it out.
It says when you restarted the session, my went black. My webcam went black. So
interesting, because I see that it went black for me. And
let me try turning on my camera and turning off.
No, it's not. It's not you. It's definitely me. I am completely frozen. I don't have you, and I have a frozen OBS on my monitor. I've never seen anything like this in Linux, and it's really interesting. I kind of want to see if the audio will hold long enough for at least, an audio version of the podcast.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So either way, they've done a lot of good work with Wheat. I got something to announce that just came in a direct message from Matt. Anyhow, that's what they announced as to what the issue is, or I mean, what they've done with GNOME 44, or sorry, with Fedora 39, and I think it's great. Now, my thing is their next release is going to be 100% Wayland only on everything, I think, and it's going to be interesting on how that works. I think the KDE version, pushing the KDE version at Wayland only,
Hmm.
is like a for lack of better words, a dry run.
I could see that.
Um, Wait a minute. Ask Zany, he took all my spending money, so I can't contribute to getting you a new system.
Oh no.
No, that's because Josh paid Tyler $100 to do Open Mandriva last night. It was freaking great. You should have seen it.
Oh man.
And you know, Wayland and Sprinkles is saying that Wayland's being the future is happening, and it is. You know, we
Yeah.
talked about that. We talked about that, and this is part of the beginning of that actually. You know, where it's going to be pushed to be that upcoming thing, and people got to get ready with it or not. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and and so it's, you know, XFCE, I think 420.
Hmm.
Is it 420? Yeah, 420 is going to be supposedly their version, their Wayland only version. Exor is still going to be there. Yeah, Josh is saying Exor is still going to be there technically. You just
Yeah.
need to make the desktop for that. Yeah,
So
but
are we looking at a situation where it's, not even planned obsolescence, but like forced, where, it's just going to get
well,
maintained less and less and
what if the,
less.
what if the plan was to force you? So then it's still planned obsolescence.
Okay, fair. But now we're getting into semantics.
Yeah, Josh clarified it. I love Josh. He's always so quick on the technical. XFCE 420 is going to be WL roots based. So yeah, they're going to be having Wayland. So even the smaller stuff like Mate, Cinnamon, you know, all those kind of things
Hmm.
are all are going to wind up seeing that, which is going to be great. You know, I
See,
mean,
but at that point, and this isn't really part of the topic for today's episode, but you got my goat a little bit. What's the
good. Let's
point
go.
of what's the point of using something like cinnamon or mate if it's going to have Wayland support? The whole idea is that you wanted to hold on to, your GNOME 2, GNOME 3 as long as you could. Are we going to see the death of those DEs?
No, no, and see that's what Josh was bringing up. I mean, Josh literally brought that up. He says Exorg is still there technically, so you know there are going to people that are going to refuse to want to go to Wayland. They just
Hmm.
don't like the environment. They're not going to like it. You know, right now with Wayland, I mean, as Wayland gets more perfected down the road, you have to do a lot less, portals, and you have to do a lot less environment variables that you got to set, right?
Well, that's
Uh,
true.
and when it gets to that point, then people will want to adopt it more naturally because it's going to be kind of like Xorg is right now, where you just like, straight up, it feels right, it works right, it comes right out of the box working great, no problem.
I
So
bet
I
I'd
mean, you're,
feel differently about Wayland if I was on Team Red.
huh?
If I was on NVIDIA hardware, I have a feeling I'd have a different opinion of Wayland.
If you're on Nvidia hardware, you'd have a
No,
different
if I
opinion
was
of
on
Wayland.
AMD. Did I say
Oh,
NVIDIA?
AMD. Yeah, you said Nvidia. Yeah, I'm like,
I am on
yeah,
NVIDIA.
yeah. I can understand that. Because it goes easily, but even with AMD, you still got to set a bunch of variables and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? and
Yeah,
and also portals, to like be able to capture screens and that kind of stuff.
right.
So once all that stuff is integrated, and it's kind of like X11 right now, where it's a little bit more seamlessly integrated for people
Hmm.
naturally in the wild open source, I think you'll see a more less questionable adoption of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And people just naturally migrate to it, and then all those other smaller desktops won't have near the following that they will. They'll be almost like the open BSD of the community.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? There'll be like a subsect. You know what I mean? So I can see that, and then you'll have people like us who are old timers that were using X11 for decades and decades and decades, and we'll feel naturally more at home with that and just want to go use that. So I mean
Yep.
that'll always be. I think that'll always be available. It'll just be a small niche.
Yep.
It's not going to be the main, but Wayland is definitely the future, and it's coming. Just like AI. I said that about AI.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting it to devolve as fast as it did.
Oh,
But
absolutely not.
Wayland's, like I said, I've said it a couple weeks ago as well. Wayland, for the time frame from its inception to where its popularity right now, has done what has taken decades upon decades for Xorg to do.
Yeah.
yes, it still has a lot to do, a lot to go in order to become a much better, environment, right? But the truth of the fact of it is it's miraculous how far it's come along in such a short time.
100%.
So, um, Zany says, yeah, there will always be those who love X, but then there's the cool guys over here getting all the babes with Waylon.
Oh man,
He's, he's
Zany, go rice some Gentoo, man.
Josh said Cinnamon and Monte both have accounted. They're working on Wayland support, by the way. Ah, sweet. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
because when Gnome does away with all of X11, what was that going to leave them? I mean, they're gonna have to do something. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that's a good thing that they're doing that. And apparently, I'm getting babes. Thanks, Zany. Sprungles. I love our chat, but
Oh,
but no, I mean Waylon. I ain't gonna lie though, man. I've actually been looking, and I found a Wayland set of dot files that actually have an actual legit install script. So all you basically got to do is install Arch, and then you got to go and download the dot files, and then you run the install script, and it literally sets up your entire Wayland session for you with everything, OBS, all that stuff.
really?
Yeah,
I was
I'm gonna, huh?
I
I'm
was
gonna test
watch
drive it. Go ahead.
I was watching some Chris Titus videos, and he
Hmm.
has a similar approach just for an Arch install. Was it one of his dot files or no?
No, no, no. I can't remember this dude's dot files, but anyhow, it will download his dot file. Well, you download the dot files, you run the script, and it installs all the packages, all the dependencies, everything for it, and sets it completely up. And it's actually very modernized looking and sleek and sexy,
I
like
might need to try that to see if I have a stable desktop for once.
none other. It doesn't look like any of the other Wayland setups out there, but it's Wayland. I'm like, oh my god,
Hmm.
I ran into that and I was like, what? That's insane. Uh, yes, Arch install does have a Sway profile, and actually, Josh, technically, Arch install does have a Hyperlink profile too. And when you
Hmm.
select it, it doesn't it's borked. It doesn't install everything.
So if you want to install Arch for literally no reason, you can use that.
Pretty much, you know. But Sway is like where you start prepping for your hyperlink config. Uh, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, Sway's literally just like it's like the Wayland derivative of i3. So it's literally the same thing. So
Well,
I mean,
and then
but yes, it gets you into the mode of the configuration file. I get what you're
right,
saying.
right.
That's what Zany says. But I mean, this guy's dot files it's insane. I mean, it's literally insane. I cannot is sway.
What?
I'm not sure what that means. Maybe I'm out of touch with the times, but uh
Maybe we missed some crucial, modern
yeah,
lingo there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's easy, and you start there, and you go to hyperlink for all the good, cool stuff. Sway is sways.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
You
they're
know
having fun in
that
chat. This is awesome.
oh man, that just broke my
I
brain.
love the boys. I love the boys, man. They're awesome.
So, Alex, tell us about computer shops in the Philippines. You were going to talk about
Oh,
that and let us
yeah,
know.
yeah,
You said it was a whole different world down there, right?
man. Yeah, yeah. I was talking to Tyler about it too. It boggles my mind that um, I went to a computer store and it wasn't open. I went a couple days later and it wasn't open. I'm like, what? Did they close down? What's going on? Sway means you're easily influenced by others, Alex. Thanks, thanks, Jonathan. Anyhow, um,
Our
so
mod and resident slang translator.
yeah. Anyhow, he I went to the shop and there was a sign up, we'll be back later, but they never came back. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll go to a computer store in the mall, like a laptop store, and see if I can do this. Because I was wanted to get videos of demoing Linux and, actually people's reaction to Linux, right? And so I went into the damn computer store and the guy wouldn't even let me touch a laptop.
He knew what you were about.
Well, I showed him. I said, I'm Alex to Linux too, but I want to do a video. Would you get? Oh, I'll do a video, and I'm like, yeah, but it's about you doing Linux or reacting to Linux, and yeah, he's like Linux, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the Linux tube, an operator. Well, we have, and he pointed to Microsoft, Windows on the wall, and he's trying to show me all the highlights from Microsoft. I'm like, you're just
know about Windows, you don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. I said, you're just reading that. And I says, I'm trying to show you something that's way better than Windows. Oh, no, sir, we can't do that. We can't do that. And I'm like, no, just give me a laptop. I'll boot into this just live and I'll show you. I'll demo it. It's not going to erase Windows. It's not going to touch it. And he's like, no. And I'm like, all right, okay. I said, well, I'll come back with my own laptop. Oh, please, no, we can't do that now. I'm like, oh, something's weird here. So apparently they don't actually really even mostly use computers over there. So he doesn't know anything about computers. He's just selling the damn device to anybody to walk in and pay him the X amount of pesos that they want for it.
So like the equivalent of a cell phone store.
Exactly. And so I'm thinking, this is really weird. What the hell? Because you figure if a guy's working at a computer shop selling laptops, he's going to be aware of specs, dimensions, operating system stuff. He's going to be able to help you drive that ship home. Even if you're selling crappy ass Windows, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So I'm like, what the hell, man? So then I started saying, well, you know what? I'm gonna go to, I want to see the price of an actual used laptop. So I'm like, let's go find a used laptop, and then what I'll do is I'll buy a used laptop and I'll take it to different family members to try to put it in front of them and see what their experience is with Windows or with Linux, right, versus Windows, and. So I start going to these pawn shops. I start going to these computer stores, but they're all closed. The pawn shops, they have phones. They're like, oh, no, go try over to the Vista Mall or go try at the, Walter Mart or whatever, the different malls and stuff over there, right? The S&M Mall, and
did you find anything?
Nothing. No, you couldn't find a used laptop or a used tablet. The only thing you could find by the droves is used cell phones.
Now, the next question being, did you get any sort of idea what the cost was? Are they too expensive?
Actually, no. It was Asus store that I went to in the mall. Their top one that they had, I can't remember the model, but it was a gaming laptop, and it had Intel and NVIDIA in it. And I think when I broke the math down, if I'm absolutely correct, it was a $200 laptop. But it had like a terabyte hard drive. It had, I want to say Intel i7. Like I said, I can't remember the exact. I remember that the RAM was like I want to say it was like 64 gigs or something like that.
That's
completely expendable.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like not a bottom of the barrel laptop at all in any way, shape, or form. It was only like $200. And so, like I said, they're not unreasonable in any way, shape, or form, considering cell phones are the same price.
Well, that's true, I guess, but the portability of a cell phone.
Well, that's the thing. And everybody, yeah, they do. Josh brings up a good point. They come with an internet connection. So pretty much so, the Philippines really only watches TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And Facebook Messenger is their number one way of communicating. They have cell phone numbers and they have SIM cards, but it costs a lot of money to maintain a load. And what's really funny is, now that I think about it, I drove all over that town, and I didn't find one single like cellular store like T-Mobile, AT&T, and not necessarily those brand names, but even like whatever their version of it was out there. I
Yeah.
didn't see any of those stores selling that stuff. In fact, there was a Samsung phone store in the mall, but they didn't sell service. You just bought the phone directly. Then you had to go get your own SIM card,
Hmm.
which is really like wild. Bye,
So
Zane.
just
Thanks
wildly
for stopping
different.
in, brother. Yeah, it's wildly different, and it's funny because I'm not paying attention to this stuff until I actually start to go looking to make a video, and that's when it dawned on me, and I realized all these things. Like my the 5-year-old granddaughter there, she has her own cell phone she goes to school with,
Yeah.
and she watches the reels on YouTube, and she does like she's flying through them.
Yeah.
Like she'll play for a few seconds, bam, she'll go to the next one, bam, go to the next one, bam. That's everywhere you go. That's what they're doing. They're all on their phone like this. They're not. So unless it's a laptop with,
I'm just gonna smile and nod at whatever you're saying because I can't see you. The podcast probably can't see you.
yeah, but I mean, it's insane what it's become there as far as like for connectivity and modern computing. I think it's computer laptops are dying unless you're playing games at home.
Yeah. And I mean, now with mobile games being so popular,
Well, these phones are basically podcast. The podcast cannot see me. Indeed, Jesse, you should be a picture. Is what you are. So,
oh,
but no, I
okay.
mean, and these phones are becoming so much more robust in hardware that they're actually decently gaming anymore. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then you've got the handhelds that are coming out that are actually like a little computer, like the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
everything's going to very,
crazy.
very small form factor.
It's crazy because there are, smaller brands out of like Shenzhen, China, and other territories. There are gaming phones, Alex. If you didn't know, there are gaming phones.
No, I didn't know that they were gaming phones.
Yeah.
Like what brand?
Let me think. I think one of them, you can check a browser if you want. I think one is called Nubia,
Like Noobia?
Nubia, or
Nubia.
there's the either Red Magic or Black Magic. I don't remember what the other brand is. Then there is like Oppo and
Nubia
Realme,
smartphone, mobile for photography expert.
and then there's Red Magic, I think, and then Realme,
Oh.
which is a descendant of
You
Oppo.
said Red Magic?
Red Magic, yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
it's right there. Red Magic 8S Pro, and it's 649.
Yeah, gaming phones.
Yeah, and Oppo, that was the one that's taken off like crazy over there. They
Yeah,
kept trying to sell me an Oppo, and they wanted to sell me an Oppo for something like
what 300-400
uh
bucks?
no, it was like 175, something like that.
Well, I mean, there's
Maybe
low end ones
150.
too, but what were the specs on it?
It was like an Oppo. It was like a S23,
Well, I mean,
Samsung S23.
a lot of these brands will use model names that are suggestive of bigger brands over here, and the specs are not even close. Like
Yeah,
they'll
well,
call it an
they had
S23, but you're talking like
no, no, no,
Wish
no, no, man.
level.
They no, 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 no. They had it across the spectrum. They had a phone to meet every, your good, better, and best, tiers.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I looked at the best, and it was on par with the S23.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
Yeah,
even had
I'm.
a Snapdragon fucking processor.
Hey, did you see any One Pluses?
Yeah, they had those there like crazy too.
Yeah,
They
because
had, I think it was, is it the 11 Pro that's out now?
I believe the 11 is the latest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's the 11. Yeah, it's the 11 Pro that they had. Yeah, they had that out too, and I mean, and it was on par with like the S23. You know what I'm saying? All of
yeah,
them are on par. It didn't. I don't think it had the Snapdragon processor, or did it? Can't
yeah.
remember.
You'd be hard pressed to get me to use a Samsung device again after using OnePlus, and for a long time, my ride or die was the what was the
Hick?
name? The what? What's that?
LG Kick.
No, how dare you? I am desperately trying to remember. It was a super popular, like, niche brand.
Hmm.
I don't think it was Element. It was, oh, it'll come to me later after the podcast is long over.
Oh, Johnny No Shoes says he loves his OnePlus 8.
Yeah,
He has the
that's what
same
I
one you
still
have.
have. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
OnePlus 8T, the 5G version. It's international with dual SIM and 12 gigs of RAM on board. I have no reason to upgrade. It's got a 90 hertz display, which either 90 or 120, and I turn it down to 60 to save on battery.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're still pretty spendy. I mean, they're a quality phone for sure.
Yeah,
But
but if you're
they're
gonna buy
a lot
a
of people.
Samsung, I'd be like, no, man, get this.
Well, price wise, they're well, no, they're not even. They're like OnePlus is like half the price.
Yeah,
I think it's like $600 or something like that.
yep,
And like the new Samsungs are still like $1,200 or some crap like that.
yeah. That's a
So
couple of car
yeah.
payments, my dude.
Oh, I know that. I'm not. I'm believe me. I ain't. I got the. Like I said. Why you think I still got the Note 25G Ultra? I mean, it's still a perfectly good phone.
Oh,
You
come
know.
on. I know where your ad revenue went.
Nah, nah, man. I've had that.
That
This is actually. I'm on the.
non-existent ad revenue.
No, bro. No, man. I pay for insurance. I've learned it as an old feller. You buy insurance
Oh,
because you know what, man. I've gone through 4 of these, man. I blow out the speakerphone all the time on it, or like, I'll lose the S Pen or I'll drop it and
yeah.
whatever. So man, I just cash in on my insurance, man. And I think T-Mobile, when I was on my fourth replacement, they told me, after this one, you're gonna have to buy a phone. You know what I'm saying? Because you've had like 4 in a year. And I'm like, no, no, it's okay. So I take care of it this time. So I only got a
Yeah.
couple more months to go before the end of the year. But
Yep.
yeah, no, I mean, no, I mean, I've been riding with that for a long time. So,
Yeah.
but no, OnePlus, I know that a lot of people talk about how good it is, but I've never tried it. And the last time I considered trying it was when it had the little pop-up camera that came out, and I was like, dude, that is a catastrophe waiting to happen. Can you imagine going to pop it up and it just breaks off?
Well, OnePlus had the 5 or the 6 and the McLaren version, I think.
What?
There was a McLaren version that had one of those pop-up cameras. And I'm
Yeah.
using my phone real quick just to see if I can remember what the name of that phone brand I used to like was.
Oh, got you. But yeah, so I mean, that was I tried it, and then of course, my mind went to, because it's based out of China. I wonder if what the quality of the phone was. But over the years, it's proven itself because it's been a sturdy phone. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
complain about breakage.
Or
I hear that you drop them, they're drop tested, and they've done all that kind of stuff, and they were well.
yeah.
They did well.
Uh Here it is. So my first flagship Android phone.
Hmm.
Does anybody, and you'll have to watch the chat for me here, the Essential phone. Do you remember it, Alex?
The Essential phone?
It was called the Essential phone, and it was made by one of the Android co-founders, Andy Rubin. And for a long
No.
time, it was the number one in security updates out of all the Android phones. And like,
Oh, I
yeah,
just
from
found a
the
picture of
Android
it. Yeah.
co-founder. So
Oh yeah, it looks like the back when they were putting the camera at straight across the top, two
yep,
side by side,
yep,
and had the fingerprint sensor in the back
yep. So what the spec
when you
wise?
unlock the phone.
Yeah, spec wise, it was just shy of 6 inches, 5.7 inches, 13
Hmm.
megapixel camera, 4 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs of RAM back then was amazing, and it
Yeah,
ran Android 7, I believe. Android 7, and it was a
you're never
Snapdragon.
gonna, you are never gonna guess who has an Essential phone,
Josh,
and it's in their drawer. No,
Zany,
nope. Zany left the
Sprungles.
chat, by the way. Yep.
Okay, cool, nice.
He says it's in his drawer. He says the cameras are garbage.
They were not good, and the body was ceramic, if I remember correctly, so it was super brittle.
Oof.
and it had no waterproofing. Not
So
like,
then why did you love that phone?
well, because at the time it was a lot of RAM and it was a lot of processing speed. Like an 835 Snapdragon is, it's not bad. In my
Hmm.
OnePlus, I think I have an 845 or 865. So like,
Really?
yeah, it's still holding up.
Well, Jonathan says that the cameras are garbage. He has a black one, and the custom ROM ecosystem is great on it.
Yes, custom ROMs were amazing on that phone.
Wow. So that's why I would. That's why he keeps it around. I'm sure.
Yep.
I would
That's
want to keep it
that's
around
why
for
I
that
like
too.
my OnePlus, because they're custom ROM friendly.
Mm. Yeah. This is the Ultra is coming to end of life. I think this was the last
Hmm. Yeah, there was
OS
only one
update it's going to
model.
get. Yeah, I think this is the last update it's going to get, and they're not going to update it anymore. So I'm looking at having to unlock this thing and put custom ROMs on it.
Oh, your
Which
S22.
no, yeah, the S20,
Okay.
the Note 20.
Well,
I don't know. I
if
don't
you
know how
want to
good
dip your
those
toe
work.
into custom ROM land, I'll be happy to show you how that works if you don't know already.
Well, I used to do that a long time ago when I had my LGs, but I haven't done it in forever. I went to I can't remember the name of the website, X developers or something like
Oh,
that.
XDA, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
XDA is still around. They're the go-to place.
yeah, and I used to go there and I used to do the unlocker, where I would side load it, I think,
Mm-hmm. It's
and
there
do an
most of the
ADB
ROMs are
push.
still like that. Yep.
Oh yeah,
But so phones are what people use for their computing in the Philippines, huh?
that's
Just
it.
all phones
Literally
all the time.
all phones all the time. In fact, I wound up taking a couple tablets over for the kids and for Emily, and in the tablet, um, they were like, "Oh, this is so nice," and immediately all they did was go to Facebook and YouTube
TikTok,
on it.
YouTube.
Yeah, and one of them was a Lenovo tablet, which was actually a computer with mini HDMI out.
But hey, people
You
like what
know,
they like.
yeah. I mean, it's like they didn't even see it for the computing power that it had. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And I'm like,
they just want to load their media.
yeah. But I'm just like, I was like, damn it! I could have went and bought them a kid's tablet, and they would have been perfect. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess it's just it is a different computing culture.
Completely different, and that's like all over. From I've seen it in Japan. Although I did see more laptops at the airport, but that's probably because they're businessmen.
Hmm.
I guess it depends on the work life. But like regular people, they didn't have handhelds out playing their handhelds. They were all playing games on their phone.
Hmm.
It's all on the phone.
Did you run into anybody during your trip this time who knew what Linux was?
Um. All right, Nate. Thanks. Nate says to have a great stream.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you guys for hanging into
a debacle of a
flaming
stream.
disaster
Yeah.
dumpster fire stream.
Uh, I did run into one person who knew what Linux was, and he was a person that actually was at the airport, and he was going there on work assignment, and he actually, um, he is a container manager
For like Docker?
for yeah for Docker, and he uses DistroBox a little bit, and we were talking about it, and I don't even know how we came up on the subject, but oh, he had a laptop out, and I saw the Docker symbol, and I'm like, oh, Docker. He's like, you know about Docker? I'm like, yeah, I'm the Linux team. He's like, what? He says, I've heard of you, and I'm like, what? He says, yeah,
Oh,
I
how
heard.
was that being recognized out in the wild?
Well, he didn't recognize me. He said he'd heard of me. And I'm like, he says, because some of the guys he works with actually watch me. I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah. He says, yeah. I said, I'm actually playing with Docker right now, and through, using it in DistroBox and stuff like that. He's like, oh, that's cool. He says, I want to try DistroBox. And so he he told me that he actually enjoys it, and he loves um he loves Linux, and he loves the actual flexibility that it has with the containers, and how he totally merges all of them together, and he manages them through uh Podman, I think is what it's
Oh,
called.
that's super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, he does it through Podman, and then he like does some programming, some updates on some of them, and then then his coworkers push it upstream and stuff like that. So I mean, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. He said he's going to tune into my show sometime. So if you're out there, man, I hope you're out there and having a good one, brother.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Alex, I sent you a DM. Maybe we change the thumbnail for the episode. You should see. I gave you a peek with my cell phone. You can see what I'm dealing with right now. My time still says that it's 5
yep,
minutes
yep,
after.
yep,
My
yeah,
my
yeah.
one screen's dark, the other one's frozen. I can't believe the stream is even working.
Well, you know what, man? Let's not complain. And we're actually only about 6 minutes away from the end. So, I
I
mean,
appreciate everybody in chat. I wish I could have seen all your chats and reactions and everything. I don't want to do anything else to anger this computer and take the stream down.
yeah, no, 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 man. We'll finish it out. In fact, we'll go ahead and we will go ahead and end it now. Outside of you playing with having to fix your Linux desktop, I see you got a little bit of work ahead of you. Tonight, I'm working on a video that I'm going to be shooting for tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it'll be posting on Monday. I got a couple videos I should be posting, so that's what I'm doing for the week.
Oh, cool.
Other than that,
Yeah.
you know, I don't
Given
got much more.
is Ben still here?
I don't know if he's in the chat. The chat has cooled down
Okay,
because
that's
of
fair.
I'm sure,
All
yeah,
the
with what's going
myriad
on.
issues, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he's gone. But either way, you can get a hold of him later. What I did want to put out there is I got confirmation from Matt. So everybody knows that I got confirmation from Matt at the Linux Cast. He's in on the Christmas special,
Thank you,
and
Matt.
the time works good for him. So
That's awesome. It's really going to be like a hot show. I'm excited.
it's gonna be great.
And don't worry, we will have redundancies set up for that show. We'll have
Yeah, I
disaster
am going
plans in
to.
place.
I'm going to fix. I'm gonna get myself fixed so that I can host the
Yep.
stream next week. So
Okay. Uh,
we good.
yeah. And I'll be a good backup to you.
Yep. Either way, you guys keep doing what you do. You guys keep on Linux and stay blessed, stay well, and above all, I will see you in the very next one.
Go ahead and I guess you can end the stream from your side.
Hope so. I hope that it just ended.
All right. I am going to force a reboot.
How do I get this to end?
If nothing else, when I come back, it'll end.